Welcome back to Summarize Science, where we break down the latest research. We've all seen videos of impressive robots, but what you don't always see is the human supervisor who has to watch its every move, ready to jump in when it messes up. This constant babysitting is a huge bottleneck, preventing us from deploying large fleets of robots to do useful work. But what if robots could tell when they're about to fail and ask for help only when they actually need it? That's the core idea behind a new system called ARMADA, which stands for Autonomous Real-World Multi-Robot System with Human Assistance for Deployment and Adaptation. ARMADA is a smart management system that allows a single human to supervise a whole team of robots at once. The magic behind it is a novel failure detector cleverly named Float. So how does it work? Imagine the robot is learning a task, like folding a towel. The researchers first provide the system with a library of successful human demonstrations of that task. As the robot attempts the task on its own, the float system is constantly comparing the robot's current actions to all of those perfect human examples. It uses a mathematical concept to calculate a sort of weirdness score. If the robot's actions get too different from any of the successful examples, the score goes up, and once it passes a certain threshold, Float raises an alarm: failure imminent. This is when the ARMADA system alerts a human operator, who can then take over and correct the robot. But here's another really clever part: the system has an adaptive rewind feature. Instead of just stopping at the point of failure, the robot can rewind its actions to the last known good step. This is huge because it prevents the robot from making an unrecoverable mess and allows the human to provide a much more useful and clean correction. The researchers tested this on 4 different real-world tasks, including pouring marbles, hanging a mug, and folding a towel. The results were impressive. The float failure detector achieved nearly 95% accuracy on average, which was over 20% better than previous state-of-the-art methods. More importantly, the system learned incredibly fast. Over several rounds of practice and human correction, ARMADA showed more than a 4-fold increase in its task success rate compared to older systems. And it did this while needing less and less help over time. The amount of human intervention required was cut by more than half compared to systems that require full-time supervision. They even showed that by deploying 3 robots at once on different variations of a task, the system could learn to adapt to completely new and unseen situations much faster. So, to recap the important points, ARMADA is a system that allows for scalable robot deployment. It uses a highly accurate failure detector called Float to know when to ask for help, and a clever rewind feature to get better quality corrections from humans. This means one person can effectively manage many robots, and those robots get better at their jobs much faster. What does this mean for the future? Systems like ARMADA are a critical step towards making robots truly practical and autonomous in complex, real-world environments like warehouses, factories, and maybe one day, even our homes. It's a bridge between perfect robot execution and the messy reality of the world, allowing robots to learn on the job safely and efficiently. That's all for this episode of Summarize Science. Thanks for watching.